Hi, welcome to another episode of Spyt-Takes. I'm your host, Jens Anderson, aka Spittle.
And I'm Ellen Anderson.
And we are here to talk to you tonight about the latest episode of The Flash called Tricksters. And it's plural too, so we could both be tricksters during this if we wanted to be. Or they could be tricksters.
I think they're the tricksters.
Yeah, they're the tricksters.
For
They're going
sure.
to do some farting tricks for us in a little while.
Oh God, let's hope not.
So anyway, this was a cool episode. There was a bunch of stuff going on here, a lot of resolutions to some loose ends, furthering of the plot with Harrison Wells, Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash, as well as introducing a new character that was an old character. So let's talk about that first. The actual... No, let's talk about the Harrison Wells stuff first.
Yeah.
The Eobard Thawne stuff.
Good.
Whichever. The whole thing opens up with a street at night in a pleasant suburban neighborhood, and this flashing light appears, and this time portal opens, and Reverse Flash comes screaming out of it, and then it flashes again, and all of a sudden the Flash comes screaming after him. We see it's in the past. It's the night that Barry's mom was murdered. She kisses him to bed again. And we see now the fight happen for the first time. We saw it kind of blurry when Cisco made that, image from the mirror a few episodes ago. Mm-hmm. But now we actually see the fight happen.
And it is way cool.
It was pretty cool.
It's badass.
Flash got his ass kicked, though, for the most part, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was definitely a struggle. It was not easy for Reverse Flash at all. So,
yeah.
I loved the fight. I thought it was really, really well done.
I
was excited to see it.
There was some impossible physics in it that I thought, how did they just do that? I know momentum running, but when you're seeing it in slow-mo, there were some things that were just wait, what? How did his foot... It was like an Escher painting or something, only a super-powered fight.
Right.
It was very, very strange, but cool, I thought.
They're flexible.
They are very flexible, yes. That is true.
The Speed Force, it's like yoga. I don't know.
It's yoga. So, very cool scene. And at the end of it, Reverse Flash starts running away, and he trips, and he falls, and he, is on the ground. He's still doing his vibrating thing. Right. And they had that whole cool sound going on the whole time. And he has this, palm of his hand. He's like, Gideon, what's going on with me? And she's like, every cell in your body you have no traces of the Speed Force. Which, by the way, was weird because he still had the glowing red eyes and was vibrating and everything.
Right,
so
but he was kind of fluttering.
Some trace left if he could do that. So he has no Speed Force left in him. He's like, how am I supposed to get back home? And Gideon's like, you can't. And
she laughed at him and said, you're screwed, dude.
You're now. No, yeah. Beep.
I know. Potty mouth.
I'm sorry. I'll bleep it. And so, yeah, you're screwed now. And what ends up happening? He just goes, ah! He does the typical, supervillain arch scream. Why? And then pulls off his mask, and it's not Harrison Wells. It's a totally different dude. And it's a dude that looks like what Eobard Thawne should look like. Right? And so I was like, what's going on?
Which immediately gets you thinking. You're like, oh my God, Harrison Wells. What happened here?
Yeah. What happened?
Why is he the Reverse Flash, but yet this other person looks completely different?
Right. It's almost like I felt like there was going to be a switch and there were going to be two people. So it continues, and the suspicion of Wells with West and Barry is growing. They are onto him. They're like, this dude is the Reverse Flash, and they feel like they're working with the enemy. And this disaster happens while they're talking in Central City. Little tiny presents start coming down from the sky on this playground, and they start blowing up. There's massive explosions, and Barry has to rescue this little kid named Henry, which is his dad's name. And they kind of see this video now of this new Trickster. And I have to say, this was the first time, in my opinion, that the show, other than with The Flash, right, crossed the line into, kooky comic book costume land.
Yeah.
Now, The Flash isn't even a kooky comic book costume, if you ask me. It's, got a reason and everything. This Trickster costume was just literally, I'm gonna dress up like a clown and commit crimes.
Right.
Right.
And they even make fun of that.
Do they?
Oh yeah, about the cheesy costume, especially when they're talking about the cheesiness of the original.
Well, yeah,
Trickster.
that's yes, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But you know, Captain Cold has a parka and he has the glasses and everything like that. But it makes sense because he's cold, right? Heatwave doesn't really have any of that. He's got the goggles on because of the heat. None of the other people have had a costume,
right,
so to speak.
So
This is the first costume.
Right, so they didn't really modernize or change.
It was a bit weird.
It was almost an homage to the cheese.
Right, and then we learn, then we see Mark Hamill, who is the original Trickster, who was around and was the Trickster. They used the costume and everything when their old Flash series but when he was active as a terrorist, as the Trickster, there was no Flash.
Right.
So he just dressed up in a kooky costume for whatever reason he dressed up in a kooky costume.
Yeah. The OG villain.
Yeah, the OG supervillain before there was a superhero. It was a little weird. So they go and see him because they want to know what's going on. They realize that the explosive used was his signature all over it. They talk to him. And there's this imposter, this new guy, and Mark Hamill as the old Trickster, James Jesse, was like, this guy's an imposter. Get him out of my mask. He wants to help them so that he can stop the imposter. And it ends up being that there's this whole caper where he's been in contact with this guy, right? Mm-hmm. And it's actually his son. And they're going to pull off this crime together, and he actually springs him, right? But while it's going on, there's this mistrust while they're trying to investigate the Trickster between Barry and Harrison. And Harrison, at one point, is... they do all these flashbacks, and you see Harrison Wells and his fiancée in the past. And they're just on a beach, and he seems happy and normal. He's walking around and everything like that.
It's really touching, too.
Yeah, like he's going to name Star Labs originally after her.
He's happy.
Yeah.
And you're like, want to start wondering to yourself about how could he have been so evil? And then I'm thinking, oh my God, is that different Harrison Wells?
Right. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of what's going on right then at that moment.
And his wife mentions they're talking about what they're going to name
Star Labs.
His research facility.
Right.
And she's like, I've got a great name. How about Star Labs?
Well, he goes, she's like, what are you going to call this place? He's like, technology... wait, what was it? It was technology, something, scientific, science, and... So the acronym, which we cannot remember what it was her name, Tess. And then she says, well, why don't you name it Scientific Technology Advanced Research, and because you're my shining star or whatever. So they have this moment, bonding moment.
So hence the birth of the Star Labs.
Hence the birth of the Star Labs acronym, correct. It was originally going to be Tess Labs.
It's not as fun.
Nah, Star Labs is kind of better. Anyway, so... all this stuff is going on with the Trickster. Wells is trying to help, the Trickster, or help Barry defeat the Trickster. And there's this one moment where he asks Barry to trust him, but Barry doesn't. He does this whole thing anyway, and it's what leads to the new Trickster springing the old Trickster, and they kidnap Barry's dad on their way out.
Because Barry's really struggling.
Yeah.
Because he has to work with Harrison Wells.
Right.
He doesn't want to. He's pretty confused because this man has always seemed to have helped him, and he's had a good relationship, and he's admired him, but now he's thinking, oh my God, this person is responsible. This could be the Yellow Flash or Reverse Flash, and I don't know how. Right. But oh my God, and he's just struggling with it. He's like, and Barry, he totally wears his heart on his sleeve, and it's apparent to everybody that something's bothering him.
Yeah. Even Harrison.
Right.
Which he gives the typical, Mr. Allen, a moment. Like, it's like the douche line of Harrison Wells.
And then he's like with his wheelchair. Slowly.
Mr. Allen, a moment.
You know what I want to see Harrison Wells do? I want him to be, what movie is it? It's Austin Powers.
Okay.
I forget what, I think it's Goldmember. Where he's in the golf cart.
No, that's the first one.
Oh, was it the first one?
Yeah.
And he's in the narrow hallway.
Yeah, and he's dunk.
And he's back and forth, and he can't turn out, and he's trying to do K-turn. I want Harrison Wells to do that. Like I want him in Star Labs. I want Cisco to direct him to like the smallest hallway, and then have him go down, have him try to get back, and that's how Cisco could totally punk Harrison Wells.
And then he would have to get out of the wheelchair and expose his secret.
Why did they not do this? Anyway, I digress as usual. So,
the Tricksters are plotting this caper. They're gonna take over this benefit for the mayor. They're gonna poison some people. They're going to force these people.
This is what happens at benefits in comics. By the way.
Absolutely. Don't ever go to a benefit from a wealthy millionaire in the comic book universe, because some super psycho is going to come and try and extort you for all your money.
Right. Someone's either going to be taken hostage, there's going to be some crap in your drink.
Which is what happened this time. Crap in your drink. They spike the champagne with poison. One guy dies. Then now they're all supposed to transfer their money to these accounts. And Barry comes and he tries to stop them. And they do a freaking speed moment. Like literally, Trickster Mark Hamill talks about speed and clamps this thing onto Barry's wrist. And he has to run real fast, and he can't slow down.
Right.
And that's where you get this really cool. It was probably my second favorite scene in the entire show. Was Harrison Wells describing to Barry the Speed Force from his perspective, which was so obvious that he knows what it feels like to be running, which Barry mentions later. Like he knows he's a speedster, and
because at first he's like, is he describing the sensation of a York peppermint patty?
With the wind through my hair?
Is this a Massingale disposable douche moment?
Whoa, what? You've gone too
or
far.
Calgon,
the dogs
take me
object.
away.
The dogs object.
They were like...
So he's explaining to him how he's going to like vibrate through a surface, vibrate through a wall, which we've seen like Zoom doing, like sticking his hand through people's chests like every episode at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he vibrates through an object and the bomb falls off, which by the way, Wells tells him to vibrate through a wall, right? And this is Barry's first time vibrating through anything.
Right.
So two things about this, and by the way, that was my favorite scene, Wells describing it. Even though you mock it mercilessly, it was my favorite, my second favorite scene. First one will come later. But he chooses
hot, that scene.
He chooses for his first object to vibrate through a gasoline tanker with a bomb strapped to his arm. Why in God's name, if you were going to choose to, when you have super speed and could turn left and right willy-nilly to find any wall or anything,
True.
do you choose to go through a fuel truck when there's a bomb attached to your wrist?
I'd probably go through a donut shop.
Critical error.
I figure if I get stuck, I can just, eat some donuts.
What? Do you agree? What
she
is going
concurs.
on? No, he concurs.
Or he concurs.
She's
Sorry,
gonna
bud.
oh God. The attack begins. I don't know why. Apparently they don't like the bomb choice either.
He goes through the tanker.
Yes, he goes through the tanker.
And then he died. Show over.
Yeah,
Sorry, we'll
the
not
show
be
is
doing
over.
these anymore.
Reverse Flash wins. So he goes through.
She's gonna go through you, or he is.
He goes through the tanker. The bomb falls off. And the other thing that bothered me a little bit about that was, why did the suit not come off? So why was it just selectively the bomb that was able to come off?
Because this is a family show.
Exactly.
I would have liked the suit to have
We've
come
seen
off
Barry
as well.
naked on the couch with Linda. Not that family. It's not like, ABC family show back in the day. Anyway, so, yes, thank you for derailing everything there, Bunsen. So he successfully vibrates through the wall. They realize he's the speedster. Anyway, he goes back and he delivers the antidote and captures Mark Hamill and his son. So both Tricksters go into jail.
Right.
And he rescues his dad from this spectacular trap that the Trickster had made for him. Why the Trickster told, I don't know. And then we go to this flashback. So that storyline kind of resolves. I gotta be honest. Mark Hamill, our Joker in DC Universe Online, terrific Joker, my favorite Joker voice of all time. Loved what Heath Ledger did with the character as a portrayal as well. Live action, different scenario. But the writing for the Trickster that they did really made him feel like he had Joker moments. And I know it's Mark Hamill's voice and everything, and I've talked to Mark Hamill. I've spent time with Mark Hamill, like in the recording booth before. And he does not sound like the Joker. Like, he doesn't talk like that normally.
Yeah, so he might have been directed that way.
Some direction, some of the writing led him to some of those choices, but I mean, it was just very Joker-ish for me the whole time. And the over-the-top nature of the young Trickster with the mask and everything, and sort of choosing to go that costume route, I wonder if they're trying to make a segue here into putting more and more of the villains in actual costumes. And if they do, I hope they don't go too far, because I like the realism of the show right now.
In fact, I'm hoping they just stop it right now with that episode.
Right? Yeah, I don't want it to go too far.
And for me, I mean, it is a fantastic show, but I think this is their first misstep.
With that costume, yeah.
Yeah, with that choice. And Mark Hamill is great as the Trickster. They should not have directed him to
be so Joker-like.
The Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fantastic voice actor. I don't understand
like,
that
trust me. When they do the new Star Wars films and he's in the new Star Wars films, he's not gonna sound anything like the Joker. Like, I mean, no, like, seriously, it's not like that's just how he sounds as a person. Like, it's an affectation that he turns on and he sinks into, and he's really good at it. And I don't know why it came out so strong in this. And maybe I didn't watch enough of the old Flash TV series back in the day. You know, maybe that Trickster was born, the Joker was born out of that Trickster, or vice versa. I actually don't know which one came first chronologically. I'm not that big of a nerd, sorry.
But I have to say, a lot of people have not seen that show, and it really doesn't matter. When you're making your own show, you can do what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my first misstep for them.
Yeah, I would say there.
Still like the episode a lot. Love the whole.
Well,
Harrison
let's
Wells
hold on a second.
story.
Let's misstep there, but they knocked it out of the park with this episode in other areas.
Yes.
Which for me pulled it right out, right? Which was the ending with. All of a sudden, you see Harrison Wells and his fiance or wife. I'm not sure if they're getting married or going to be married. Driving down the road, and Eobard Thawne is lurking in the trees. Right? His wife. Okay. And he sets a trap on the road to blow their tires out. There's a horrible car accident, which, God forbid, my tire blows out because my whole car is going to flip over and slide down the street.
At least I think it's his wife.
I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter because she's dead at this point. They flip the car. Eobard Thawne comes out. Harrison Wells, what a great portrayal by this actor, right? Just absolutely panicked. His wife / fiance is possibly dead right next to him in the passenger seat of this overturned car. Asks for help. Eobard Thawne gives the line again. She's been dead for centuries. Comes around the other side. Harrison is like just in shock as to what's going on. And this dude freaking sticks this like sensor or something in his chest, sticks the other side in Eobard Thawne's chest, so they're connected now through this device, and sucks the essence out of this guy and takes on the visage of Harrison Wells and leaves Harrison Wells this desiccated husk on the ground.
I also wonder.
Gruesome.
I also wonder if he absorbs some of the memories.
Maybe
because
the intelligence.
I wonder if he. I just don't think it's looks. I think he actually absorbs more.
And then you got to start wondering,
At least I hope so.
Do the two actually fight with each other a little bit? Is there I'm really curious as to where this is going to go.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment that led to a lot of possibilities with the character. I wonder if we'll see a return of the actor who plays Eobard Thawne, and we'll lose the Harrison Wells actor at one point because the actual physicality will shed, you know? Possibilities are endless here. Very, very cool stuff. Loved the episode. Great job. All involved. Was great seeing some nostalgia with Mark Hamill on the show. Not crazy about the new Trickster having some wacky costume, though. Really bizarre. Doesn't quite fit for me where they've been going with this show. So I hope they don't push that too far. But that character in the comics has always been annoying to me, too. Like the new young punky Trickster. I've never liked him in the actual comics either. Blah. Not my favorite character.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Trickster, the new punky one from the comics, so I just know it from seeing it on the show, and I didn't care for it either.
Yeah. But anyway, otherwise, still a fantastic episode. Yep. We really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see next week. It's going to be off the hook. And we'll be talking about that on the next Spyt-Takes too. If you want to give us your opinion about Spyt-Takes or the episode that we just talked about, do so at #Spyt-Takes. Or you can go to the YouTube channel and leave some comments there. We really appreciate it. Thank you for watching this episode. It was nice sharing our thoughts with you and having Penny and Bunsen attack me mercilessly. That was probably enjoyable for you to watch.
She came to say goodbye too.
Bye.
Sign off, Penny.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, thanks.
And it's almost medieval. It's like people have
Yeah.
like clubs, and I
no.
swear there's some guy with like a shovel.
No,
and
it was a machine gun. You
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, why is the guy with the machine gun like holding it like, oh?
He's charging with it like it's a club instead of using it. I'm like, you just stand
Lay down
back
some
and
fire.
shoot. You just don't go, I'm gonna hit you with my gun. We don't really know what that is.
We don't.
My theory is like she finally had it because she was tired of the toilet seat being up.
Really?
I don't know.
What? Toilets are different in Asia, though. They don't even think they have toilets and
Yes,
seats.
they do.
No, it's like this, like 3-inch sunken. You just sort of squat over it and let it all
You
go.
wouldn't replace the toilet paper. These are all things that, women divorce their husbands on. So.
Okay, I actually think it has to do with their son.
So yeah, totally. So it's like that's just got to be probably almost a death kill right there.
Yeah, a death kill
Yeah.
as opposed to a life kill, or a death life. Or
Not what I meant to say. Fail on words.
I'm gonna death kill you now. Yeah.
I like your take on that because my take is awful. Mine is like Batman meets Downton Abbey.
Oh, maybe because yeah. No, I thought it was a nice little.
See, yours
nod.
is better.
Yeah.
Here's what I found on the web for Siri. Find me the nearest Rising Darkness.
The inside story of Siri's origins.
But then I
That's a
got
good
busy.
theory, actually.
Yes.
I'm impressed.
The brain.
Wow, I just got blown away. I just fell in love with you
Master
all
blaster.
over again. Will you marry me again?
Maybe.
Anyway, well,
You're a bum. I don't know.
oh, I am a bum. I am a.
He's practically holding
Yeah,
his head
like-
back.